Hello all. In the series of covering SAT topics, this is our third video where we will cover quadratic equations. So basically, first question arises, what is quadratic equations? So the polynomials, basically the quadratic polynomials form quadratic equations. So how a quadratic equation is written? So an equation of the form, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0 is called as quadratic equation. Now in quadratic equation we have to know about solving quadratic equations. So basically, before we know how to solve the quadratic equation, we have to know zero product rule. So what is zero product rule? It says that if product of two or more than two numbers or expressions is 0, then at least one of them will be 0. What is meant by this is, suppose we are having a times b times c equal to 0. That means at least one of a or b or c will be equal to 0. Then only the product can be 0. So we can write, this implies that either a equal to 0 or b equal to 0 or c equal to 0. Now if we get such type of factors, like suppose 2x minus 3 times of x plus 4 equal to 0. So from here we can say either 2x minus 3 equal to 0 or x plus 4 equal to 0. So from here we will be getting either x equal to 3 over 2 or x equal to negative 4. That means these two are the solutions of this equation, 2x minus 3 times of x plus 4. So this is called as zero product rule. Now next is methods of solving of quadratic equations. So first method is factoring. Second method is completing the square method. And third method is using quadratic formula. So let's start with the first topic, which is factoring. So how we can solve quadratic equation using factoring? So suppose we are having ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Then what we will have to do? We just have to find two numbers such that their product is a times c. That means coefficient of x square times of constant term. This should be the product. And the sum or difference should be b. So we have to find such two numbers, then we can replace that in place of b. So for example, x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. That means we need to find two numbers whose product is 6 and sum is negative 5. So you can see we can take negative 2 and negative 3. Negative 2 and negative 3 sum gives negative 5, whereas the product of these two is 6. Now we will replace that in place of negative 5. So we can write this as x square minus 2x minus 3x plus 6 equal to 0. Now from the first two terms we can take x common. So we will be getting x minus 2. Then from the last two terms we can get negative 3. Remember that in both the parentheses we should get the same number, same factors, so that we can take that as common. We'll always get the same factors. If we are not getting, that means either we are doing wrong or that cannot be factored. So this implies that we can take x minus 2 factor common. Then what is remaining here? X, then minus 3, and this should be equal to 0. Now using the zero product rule, either x minus 2 equal to 0 or x minus 3 equal to 0. So from here we will be getting x equal to 2 or x equal to 3. So we are having two solutions, x equal to 2 and 3. Now here we had a was equal to 1. That's why we got only 6 as the product. But some students get confused, right? Like we only have to write the c here. But always remember we have to write ac. Here a is 1. That's why only c is coming. Now let's take another example. Suppose the question is 2x square plus 11x plus 15. Then what we can do, we have to suppose this is equal to 0, then we have to take two numbers, we have to think of two numbers whose product is 15 times 2 30 and whose sum is 11. So you can see we can take 6 and 5. So we'll replace that in place of 11 and we'll be getting 2x square plus 6x plus 5x plus 15 equal to 0. This implies that we can take 2 common from the first two terms, 2x common, then we will be getting x plus 3, then we can take plus 5 common and we'll be getting again x plus 3. You can see we are getting the same terms common in the parentheses. So this implies that we can take x plus 3 common, and if we take x plus 3 common, then here 2x is remaining and here plus 5 is remaining. So that is equal to 0. This implies that x plus 3 equal to 0, either x plus 3 equal to 0 or 2x plus 5 equal to 0. So from here we will be getting two solutions, x equal to negative 3 and here we will be getting negative 5 over 2. So these are the two solutions. So this is how we can use method of factoring to solve quadratic equations. Now it's not like that we will be getting only this type of questions. It is possible that we can get x square plus 3x. You can see here that the constant term is missing. So we don't need to do that much of thing, like we have to make the cross and then we have to think of two numbers. Here we can simply take x common. So when we take x common, we are remaining with x plus 3 equal to 0. So either x will be equal to 0 or x plus 3 will be equal to 0. That means we'll be getting 0 and negative 3. Now one more type of question. For that we have to know a square minus b square. That is a minus b times of a plus b. We can get this from factorization also, but this is a result which is used widely. So we have to learn this result. A square minus b square can be written as a minus b times of a plus b. So suppose we are having the question as x square minus 4 equal to 0. Then we can write this as x, see 4 is 2 square, that means it is x square minus 2 square. So it can be written as x minus 2 times of x plus 2, that is equal to 0. That means either x minus 2 equal to 0 or x plus 2 equal to 0. So we'll be getting negative 2 and 2 as the answers. Now coming to next, that is second method, which is completing the square method. So in those questions where we will not be able to use factorization, we will not be able to factor the terms, then we will be using completing the square method. And how we use the completing the square method? We can write like suppose we are having x square plus 4x minus 9 equal to 0. So what we can do, you always have to remember that we have to add and subtract square of half of coefficient of x. So we can write x square plus 4x, then we have to add or subtract either we have to add and subtract, or either we can add and subtract or we can add on both the sides. So plus 4, because half of 4 is 2 and then square of that is 4. So if we are adding something, then we need to subtract also to make a balance, and then negative 9 equal to 0. So from here we will be getting x square plus 4x plus 4. Now you have to here remember two more results basically. So a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square, and a minus b whole square equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So here you can see the first result is satisfying. So this can be written as x plus 2 whole square minus 13 equal to 0. So we can add 13 to both the sides. So we'll be getting x plus 2 whole square equal to 13. This implies that we can take square root both the sides and we'll be getting x plus 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 13. So we can write x is equal to, we are subtracting 2 from both the sides, so we'll be getting x equal to negative 2 plus minus square root of 13. So what we will be getting from here, we can write x equal to negative 2 plus root 13 or negative 2 minus root 13. We can leave in this form or we can convert it into decimals according to the options given in the question. A is not equal to 1. Then what we will be doing? Suppose we are having 2x square plus 8x plus 5 equal to 0. Then what we can do here? We can simply divide both the sides by 2, or first step we can do 2x square plus 8x. We can subtract 5 from both the sides, so we'll be getting negative 5. Now we can divide both the sides by 2. Whether we divide first or we do this step, or if we do this step and divide, it will give us the same result. So x square plus 4x equal to negative 5 over 2. Again we will do the same thing. So we have to either add or subtract on the left side only, or we can add on both the sides. So x square plus 4x plus 4, and we will add on this side also. So minus 5 over 2 plus 4. So what we will be getting, this can be written as x plus 2 whole square equal to, here we will be getting negative 5 over 2. We need to make the denominator common, so we'll have to multiply second term by 2 over 2. So we'll be getting 8 over 2. So what we are getting from here, x plus 2 whole square equal to negative 5 plus 8, so positive 3 over 2. This implies that, again we will take square root both the sides, so we'll be getting x plus 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 3 over 2. This implies that x equal to negative 2 plus minus square root of 3 over 2. So this implies that x is equal to negative 2 plus square root of 3 over 2, or negative 2 minus square root of 3 over 2. So these are the answers of this question. Now moving to third method, that is quadratic formula. So basically quadratic formula is more widely used than completing the square method, because quadratic formula which we get is basically from completing the square method only. When we will complete the square, we will use the completing the square method in ax square plus bx plus c, then we will generate quadratic formula. Like suppose we are having ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Then I had said that we need to use here, we have to first subtract c from both the sides. So we can write ax square plus bx equal to negative c. Then this implies that we can divide both the sides by a. So x square plus b over a times of x equal to negative c over a. So this implies that now we have to add square of half of coefficient of x. So plus b over a times of x. So half of coefficient of x is b over 2a, and we'll square that, and we'll add the same thing on this side also. So then what we will be getting on the left side, it will become x plus b over 2a whole square equal to, we need to make the denominator common, which is here 4a square. So we can multiply and divide by 4a in the first fraction. So we can write minus 4ac over 4a square plus b square over 4a square. So then what we will be getting, x plus b over 2a whole square equal to, that can be written as b square minus 4ac over 4a square. We can take square root both the sides, and we will be getting x plus b over 2a is equal to plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 4a square. So this implies that we will subtract b over 2a from both the sides, and we will be getting x equal to negative b over 2a plus minus, you can see it's square root of b square minus 4ac, and square root of 4a square is just 2a. So we can write this as x is equal to negative b over 2a, sorry, we will write in the form of quadratic formula. So negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. This is what we use the quadratic formula for solving any quadratic equation where factorization is not possible. But still factorization is the easiest method. So if factorization is possible, then we will use factorization to solve it quickly. If you are not able to think of two numbers in the factorization, then we will be using the quadratic formula. Now let's see one example from quadratic formula. Suppose we are having the question as 2x square plus 9x minus 13 equal to 0. Then what we will be doing here, we have a equal to 2, b equal to 9, and c equal to negative 13. So we can write x is equal to negative b, which is negative 9, plus minus square root of b square, which is 81, minus 4ac. So 4 times of 2 times of negative 13 divided by 2a. So 2 times of 2. So we'll be getting negative 9 plus minus square root of 81, and here we'll be getting 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 13, that is 104. So you can see we'll be getting positive of 104, because negative negative multiplied gives us positive. So 104 divided by 4. So we can write this as x is equal to negative 9 plus minus square root of 185 over 4. Now either we can simplify this, if it can be simplified, if the radical can be simplified, then we will simplify, otherwise we will convert that into radical form. So this is how we can find the answer. So that is all in quadratic equations. We will learn about more about quadratic equations when we will learn about the graphs of quadratic equation in advanced algebra when we will start. So there will be coming one more topic of quadratic equation where we will learn about its graph, which is a parabola, about its vertex, about more types of solutions which we can get. So this is all about for now. We will meet again in next topic of this series.